After you learn this, nobody can hurt you again. Let me tell you something that might change your life. The day you stop taking things personally is the day people lose their power over you. Most pain isn't caused by what people do. It's caused by what we make it mean. Someone ignores your message. You think, I'm not important. Someone criticizes you. You think, I'm not good enough. Someone replaces you. You think, I wasn't enough. But here's the truth. People don't act based on your worth. They act based on their own fears, needs, wounds, and limitations. And once you truly understand that, something shifts inside you. You stop reacting. You start observing. And when you stop reacting, nobody can hurt you the same way again. Let's break this down calmly, because this is not about becoming cold. It's about becoming untouchable. 1. The illusion that causes most emotional pain. Imagine this. You walk into a room. You say something. Nobody responds. Instantly, your chest tightens. You replay it in your head. Was that stupid? Do they not like me? But here's what you don't see. One person was distracted. One person didn't hear you. One person was thinking about their own problems. Yet your brain made it about you. That's what the ego does. It assumes everything is personal. But most of the time, it's not. The driver who cuts you off, he's late. The friend who snaps at you, she's overwhelmed. The coworker who takes credit, he's insecure. Once you understand this, you stop internalizing behavior that was never about you. And when you stop internalizing it, it stops hurting the same way. 2. Emotional control is quiet power. Real power is not loud. It doesn't argue to prove a point. It doesn't chase validation. It doesn't rush to explain itself. Think about the calmest person you know. When someone insults them, they don't explode. They pause. They look. They respond slowly. Or sometimes, they don't respond at all. That pause is power, because most people are controlled by impulse. You criticize them, they defend. You ignore them, they chase. You provoke them, they react. But when you don't react the way they expect, something strange happens. They lose their script. Now they feel exposed. Silence becomes uncomfortable for them. And that discomfort, that's where your power lives. Emotional control is not suppression. It's awareness. You feel the emotion. You just don't let it drive. 3. The secret. Detachment. Detachment does not mean you don't care. It means you don't cling. You don't cling to praise. You don't cling to insults. You don't cling to outcomes. Let's say someone calls you lazy. If you know you work hard, their words bounce off. If you secretly fear you're lazy, their words sting. See the difference? Pain attaches to insecurity. So instead of fighting people, work on yourself. Strengthen your self-image. Because when you know who you are, opinions become background noise. Detached people are hard to manipulate. Why? Because manipulation works through emotional hooks. Guilt, fear, approval, rejection. If you don't overvalue those things, you can't be pulled. You become steady. And steady people are respected, even by those who don't like them. 4. When someone tries to hurt you, there are moments when people do mean harm. They gossip, they insult, they betray. What do you do then? Most people react emotionally. They argue, they defend, they retaliate. But here's a higher level response. You observe patterns. You adjust access. You protect energy. You don't announce boundaries. You enforce them quietly. Someone disrespects you publicly. Instead of reacting, you reduce contact. You stop giving them emotional reactions. You stop explaining yourself. And you move differently around them, not with anger, with clarity. When you stop giving people access to your emotional core, they cannot stab it. 5. The power of silence. Silence is misunderstood. People think silence is weakness. It's not. Silence is self-control in action. When someone tries to provoke you and you don't respond, it forces them to sit with their own behavior. Silence says, I see what you're doing, I'm just not participating. And that unsettles people. Because most people depend on reaction. Think about arguments. They need two people. If one person refuses to escalate, the argument dies. Silence also protects your reputation. The person who stays calm always looks stronger than the one who loses control. Always. You don't have to win every battle. You just have to remain composed. Composure builds long-term authority. 6. Confidence without noise. There's a difference between loud confidence and quiet confidence. Loud confidence tries to convince others. Quiet confidence doesn't need to. It's the difference between saying, I know I'm valuable, and proving it through behavior. When someone doubts you, you don't panic. You don't argue. You continue building. When someone leaves, you don't beg. You let them. When someone underestimates you, you smile internally because you don't need their validation to function. That is psychological freedom. And freedom is attractive. People can sense when you're not desperate for approval. They feel it in your posture, in your voice, in your timing. You speak slower. You move slower. Because you're not trying to secure acceptance. You already accepted yourself. 7. Real-life example. Let's make this real. You're in a relationship. Your partner suddenly becomes distant. Old you panics. You overanalyze. You ask repeatedly, what's wrong? You fear abandonment. But the new you observes. You give space. You maintain your routine. You don't chase. You don't accuse. If they come back and communicate, good. If they continue distancing, you evaluate. Is this aligned with what I want? You respond with standards, not fear. That shift alone changes everything. Because fear-based behavior invites control. Standard-based behavior invites respect. 8. Why this works. When you stop reacting emotionally, people lose leverage. They cannot trigger you easily. And when they can't trigger you, they either respect you or distance themselves. Both outcomes are good, because the right people value emotional stability, and the wrong people leave when they can't manipulate you. You don't lose. You filter. 9. The inner work. This level of calm doesn't happen overnight. You have to face your insecurities. You have to sit with uncomfortable emotions. Instead of texting back immediately, you pause. Instead of defending yourself instantly, you breathe. Instead of seeking reassurance, you self-soothe. At first, it feels unnatural. But over time, your nervous system learns safety from within. And once you can create safety internally, external behavior loses its grip. You become less reactive, more intentional, less anxious, more observant. This is psychological maturity. And maturity is intimidating to immature minds. Here's the part most people don't understand. You cannot control what people say. You cannot control how they act. You cannot control who stays or leaves. But you can control the meaning you assign to it. And meaning shapes emotion. If someone leaves and you think, I'm not enough, you suffer. If someone leaves and you think, we were not aligned, you grow. Same event, different meaning, different outcome. This is the shift. Once you realize that your interpretation creates your emotional experience, you stop giving that power away. Nobody can insult you without your agreement. Nobody can reject you without your permission to internalize it. Nobody can hurt you repeatedly unless you keep opening the same wound. And when you close that wound through awareness, growth, and detachment, people can try, but it won't land the same. You'll feel it, but you won't crumble. You'll see it, but you won't chase. You'll understand it, but you won't carry it. And that's when something quiet happens inside you. You stop fearing people. You stop overthinking every interaction. You stop trying to control outcomes. You just move with calm certainty. You speak less. You observe more. You react slower. And somehow, life feels lighter. Not because people changed, but because you did. That's the real power. Not dominance, not aggression, not proving, just control over your own mind. And when you control your mind, nobody else can control you. If this made you pause and reflect, stay close. There's more to learn.